I make a lot of sheet cakes at home. They're so quick to put together. Once you get to frost and serve those cakes right out of the pan. Now sometimes it's a little tempting to make the process even easier by starting off with a box of chocolate cake mix. Don't do it because despite the name, chocolate right there, there's a little chocolate flavor. So Erin is here to show us a much better from scratch version.
You're going to be so satisfied with this version, Bridget. Today we're putting the chocolate back into the cake and in the frosting.
How about that?
Absolutely. And it's going to be easy too, I promise.
Great.
Okay, so let's start over here. I have 1.5 cups of sugar. I'm going to add 1.25 cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm just going to whisk these guys together until it's evenly combined. Now we're going to move on to our chocolate.
Okay.
I know you love chocolate, right?
I love chocolate.
All right. So first we're going to start by adding 1 cup of milk to our saucepan. And I'm going to add 8 ounces of bittersweet chocolate that I chopped up fine. And we're going to add 3/4 cup of Dutch processed cocoa powder.
A lot of chocolate flavor going into the sauce.
We are not holding back here. A lot of recipes actually only call for cocoa powder, and those recipes really are lacking chocolate flavors. The cocoa powder is going to give us really deep chocolate flavor. The fruitiness and bitterness is going to come through. Plus, we're using the bar chocolate to add sugar and fat and more chocolate flavor. Okay, so I'm going to put this over low heat, but I'm just going to whisk it and let it gently melt until it comes together and it's nice and silky and smooth and homogeneous. And once it is, I'm going to take it off the heat and let it sit for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, Bridget, so our chocolate mixture has melted and it's been sitting here for 5 minutes cooling.
Okay.
Okay.
Very smooth.
It is very smooth. Are you ready to make our batter?
So ready.
I'm adding 2/3 cup of vegetable oil.
And that's going to give us a much cleaner flavor than melted butter or even creamed butter.
It is,
Yep.
yes. And we're adding 4 eggs. And this is the reason we cooled our chocolate mixture because I didn't want to add the eggs to a hot chocolate mixture. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so now I'm just going to whisk all this together, Bridget. Okay, so now that's all combined. Now I'm going to go back to our dry ingredients. I'm going to add the dry ingredients right into the pot. And I'm going to whisk it until it's nicely combined. Now I'm just going to pour our batter into a 9x13 pan that's been lightly sprayed with vegetable oil.
Okay.
So now we're going to bake this in a 325-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to rotate it halfway through so that it bakes evenly. Okay, Bridget, our cake is in the oven. It's time to make the frosting.
Always time to make the frosting.
I know it is. So we have 1 pound of milk chocolate. We found that milk chocolate was a great contrast to the dark chocolate cake. So we're going to melt this over our double boiler. Anytime you set up a double boiler, it's important that the bottom of your bowl does not actually touch the simmering water.
Okay.
So to this, we're going to add 2/3 cup of heavy cream. We're making an easy ganache. We're going to let this melt. It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes for the chocolate to melt. And I'm going to whisk it occasionally just until it's nice and smooth and silky.
Okay.
We knew we were not going to use canned frosting, so we went with a ganache. It's going to yield the perfect frosting.
And it's easy.
And it's easy. It's been about 10 minutes and our chocolate is melted perfectly.
It smells so good in here.
That looks nice.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it dreamy?
Do we
Lose yourself in
okay.
it. So now I'm just going to take the bowl and bring it over here. And now we're going to add just a little bit of butter.
Okay.
Just a little bit. 16 tablespoons.
Just a tad.
Just a tad. And this is room temperature butter. I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes. Okay, so this is nice and creamy and smooth. What do you think?
It's beautiful and glossy and chocolatey.
It's like a waterfall. A lot of recipes call for cooling their frostings for about 2 to 3 hours. We only need 30 to 60 minutes because we're going to put it in the fridge. Look at that beautiful cake. So this baked for about 30 minutes or so, and we know that it's finished when you touch the top and it bounces back a little bit. It's slightly firm. The other way of testing is by poking your cake with a little toothpick, and some moist crumbs should be attached. Now we're going to let the cake cool for 1 to 2 hours until we can frost it.
Longest time ever.
You can do it. You can do it. I do.
Well, we all love the aroma of chocolate cake wafting from the oven. You can actually smell it in here just a little bit, but in general, the more chocolate you can smell, the less chocolate flavor you're going to taste. Chocolate is full of volatile flavor compounds, so when heated, the liquid in the batter turns to steam and carries away some of those compounds. And that's why we recommend underbaking chocolate goods just a little bit. Not only is the resulting cake going to be moist, but more of those flavor compounds are going to be left in the cake, right where they belong.
So our cake is cooled, our frosting is chilled, and now I'm going to finish frosting.
Time to assemble.
Time to assemble. So this is cooled for just under an hour, and it's set up just enough, but it's still pliable. Now I'm just going to whisk it until it lightens in color and becomes a little softer and smoother. All right, so you can see that it's lightened in color.
Beautiful.
And it should also hold its shape on a whisk. So now I'm just going to scoop all this frosting right into the center of the cake.
Yes.
So anytime I frost a cake, I always put the frosting in the center of the cake, and then I can work my way up to the edges.
Mmm. Now, are you signing your name? This is Erin's cake.
All mine. We are ready.
Okay. That is beautiful. What's great is nice big pieces. Oh, come on. A really good chocolate cake you have to taste at least 10 times to make sure it's okay.
I heard 12.
Mmm.
That frosting,
Creamy. Soaking.
light.
Light.
And that cake, the cake, it's sturdy, but it's so moist. And it has like really deep, dark chocolate flavor, doesn't it?
You keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this amazing cake starts with a